enslaved by the loyalist settlers who initially enslaved them.
Many of the streets that we walk on and the towns that we live in are named for the first politicians who built the province we now call Ontario. Their accomplishments are celebrated. The fact that they owned slaves has been wiped from their record. Peter Russell was the Receiver General of Upper Canada. He owned 6,000 acres of land, and he bought and sold slaves. William Jarvis was a member of the Executive Council of Upper Canada. He owned slaves, and one of them, Henry Lewis, ran away to Schenectady, New York, and wrote him a letter asking to purchase his freedom.
Doing research on enslaved people is very different from doing research on free people. If I was researching a free person, first thing I do is look for a birth certificate. Enslaved people didn't have birth certificates because they were not considered human.
My name is Charmaine Nelson, and I'm a Tier 1 Canada Research Chair and the Director of the Institute for the Study of Canadian Slavery at NASCAD University.
Yes, pick up yourself, Charmaine.
A smaller population of enslaved people because there's less work to do because we could not sustain the all-year plantation economy. So an enslaved person might be in a household with one or two other enslaved people and maybe an indentured servant. So then you do anything that slave owner wants you to do. One day it may be care for my children, and then the next day make the butter, prepare the meal, and then you're out picking the apples and tending to the horse.
Cleaning, laundry, helping to clear the land, build some of the initial homes, barns, and other buildings, helping to build the colonial infrastructure.
So in the Canadian context, you will not typically find the plantation ledgers. We're left with things like diaries, personal and business correspondence, and then in the printed mass-produced documentation, the advertising is central here. So we have fugitive, also known as runaway slave ads, and again, those are the ads that a slave owner printed when an enslaved person that they profess to own resisted through running away. And these, we have to understand, they're precursor to the mugshot. The text of the ads were doing the work of describing what the person looked like, what they were wearing,
That's deep.
what was their hairstyle or texture, what is their complexion or racial type. So those ads are very powerful because they tend to be very honest, because the slave owner is giving all these details because they want their property back.
There was a few indigenous people who enslaved African people. Joseph Brant, he's known to have enslaved at least 40.
Chief Joseph Brant was a Mohawk chief and statesman. He fought on the side of the British in the American Revolutionary War. And the city of Brantford is named after him.
I'll lie.
Sophia Pooley was enslaved by Joseph Brant as a child. Her story was documented in a compilation of interviews of freedom seekers by Benjamin Drew, who was a white abolitionist from Boston. And he had arrived in Ontario in 1855 to interview freedom seekers.
I was stolen from my parents when I was 7 years old and brought to Canada. My parents were slaves in New York State. My master's sons-in-law came into the garden where my sister and I were playing, tied their handkerchiefs over our mouths, carried us to a vessel, put us in a hold, and sailed up the river. I guess I was the first colored girl brought into Canada. The white men sold us at Niagara to Old Indian Brant. I lived with Old Brant about 12 or 13 years. After, I was sold by Brant to an Englishman in Ancaster for $100. His name was Samuel Hatt, and I lived with him 7 years. Then, the white people said I was free.
People believe that because it's Canada, that
It's Black History Month, and I thought in honor of that, I would talk about my favorite piece of Canadian Black history. Is it my favorite because I'm a direct descendant of it? Maybe. Living in Canada, particularly going to school in Alberta, I don't remember ever learning much about Canadian Black history. Most of what I know comes from my own family. Speaking from my experience living in Canada as a non-Black Canadian, I think it's very easy for us to overlook the contributions that Black Canadians have made to our history, but I like to talk about it. Amber Valley was the first Black settlement in Alberta, and it was settled by Black immigrants coming from predominantly southern states, namely Texas and Oklahoma, where my family, the Edwards, come from. There were 4 families that settled Amber Valley: the Bowen family, the Sneed family, the Murphy family, and my family, the Edwards. In the late 18th century and the early 19th century, when Amber Valley was being settled, Canada was no beacon for racial justice, so make no mistake there. However, people were leaving places like Oklahoma, where in the early 20th century, postcards featuring lynchings would be sold. The Tulsa Massacre would happen in 1920. So while Canada was making it no secret that they preferred immigrants coming from white European countries or white farmers coming from the United States, Black immigrants still settled in Alberta because at least it's not Oklahoma. Amber Valley was home to an all-black school, a supermarket, and the first Black-owned post office in Alberta. One of the major cultural exports from Amber Valley was sports, namely baseball. The Amber Valley baseball team beat most of the rivaling Albertan teams. In the United States at the time, due to Jim Crow segregation laws, Black teams would have only been able to play other Black teams, but in Alberta at the time, this was not the case. The team was so good and so entertaining to watch that they drew in pretty large crowds from across Alberta, and they traveled across northern Alberta to play other teams, including white teams. And yes, they usually won. Because of their prowess and notoriety across Alberta, they became unofficial ambassadors for the Black community in the province. Eventually, because Amber Valley was so rural, newer generations would move out of the area and into bigger cities like Edmonton and Calgary. So now all that's really left of Amber Valley is the cultural center, a preserved cabin of Romeo Edwards, and the lasting impact of the Bowen, Sneed, Murphy, and Edwards families. Like I said earlier, it's easy for non-Black Canadians to neglect the fact that Black Canadians have in fact contributed quite richly to Canadian history. Most of the Black history that I was taught anyway in school was American Black history and not Canadian Black history, interestingly enough. If you're ever curious about Amber Valley and want to learn more, you can read from this article on the Canadian Encyclopedia or this article from the National Post. One of my greatest points of pride is being a product of Black history and Black resilience, particularly the resilience of the Edwards family in Amber Valley. So happy Black History Month to the Black community, particularly those in Canada, in Alberta especially. I see the resilience of my Black family living here in Alberta each and every day, and I know it's not easy. So shout out to you guys in particular.
People don't know that, but a lot of great Black hockey players came from Nova Scotia.
Hockey itself was started by Black and Native people in Nova Scotia, right? They had a league, a Negro league for hockey, right, in Nova Scotia before they ever had a NHL.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the rules and stuff like that, like being able to fight, the way that they do like the changes of like
the line
changes and stuff like that, that comes from the Black hockey. There's a movie, shout out to Drizzy Drake and LeBron James. They produced a movie that's on, I think, Amazon, but it's called Black Ice. And it talks about the whole history of like Black hockey in Canada and shit. You know what I mean? It's a crazy history, but it's something that I noticed when I moved up here. Like when I said I moved up here when I was younger, a lot of people don't know the history as Black people in Canada. I know it's a lot of people, they might be lost because they don't know what their history is and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that I always tell people, man, try to find, like, where are you from? What's your family's background? Like, what do people have to do in order for you to get where you're at right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, check that shit the fuck out.
I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity across the 4 corners of the earth. Alright, shalom to the hopeful elect. 1/3 sincere listeners. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai being the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel, the kingdom of heaven, this true, salvation, is for the Israelites and the Israelites only. Okay, who are you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Alright, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. You're more than most likely an Israelite. Okay, going back to one of the 12 patriarchs, Jacob. Alright. Okay, the kingdom of heaven, salvation for you. This video is just gonna be about Canada's shameful history in regards to having a hand in slavery, how they tried to hide and wash, pretty much rid their hands of guilt, rid their deeds, as if there was no, any wrongdoing, there was no foul play, so to speak, as if they didn't participate as if they weren't willing participants in slavery, okay, chattel slavery. And we're just here to expose and shed light on that, as well as, right, the history that they don't show. And goes into, you know, because you're going to see the videos. I'm going to play the video clips first. It's a lot of videos. I'm not going to break it down bit by bit, but I'm going to compile it all together. You're going to get the edification, and you can see it, you know, in the beginning of the video. And then as I'm talking about it now, you're going to see what's up. You're going to know about the, you know, a bit of the history. It's not everything. I'm sure there's a lot more. You know, but we're also going to go into the origins of hockey. All right, Gad. All right, the Native Americans and Judah. It was Judah that made hockey, and Gad. Judah and Gad, maybe Reuben as well. Judah, Gad, Reuben. Okay, that made hockey. Okay, but they don't want to give that credit to you, you Israelites. Okay, they actually price you out of that sport. Which is fine. You Edomites can have that sport. And most of the people that are playing in that sport anyways are probably Jakes anyways. You know what I mean? But for you Edomites that think you have a little skill or something, you know, maybe the Lord gave you a look of something, I don't know. Whatever. There's probably some Edomites in there. But certain guys for sure, top guys in the NHL league, they're Israelites. Like Connor McDavid. I think that's what his name is. I don't fucking know. Ovechkin. All right, Crosby. I'm just naming certain guys I can name off the top of my head. Who's that guy that plays in the league? Matthews. Okay, he's an Israelite. Okay, a lot of these guys, I can give a fuck if they're Israelites or not. I'm just letting you know they are Israelites. All right, just because you're an Israelite doesn't mean you have a ticket into salvation. Right, you got to repent and you know, repent and turn and worship Yahweh Shem Shai. Truth and sincerity. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't, you know, so whatever, like, it is what it is. But a lot of you Edomites, you know, and you white Jakes, a message to you white Israelite, you white looking Israelites, white passing Israelites. The Lord don't give a fuck, okay, unless you repent. Because when them race wars kick off, you think Jake is gonna give a fuck that you're one of the good ones? All right, so it's best for you, you know, not even just you white Israelites, but you heathen-looking Israelites. You better start fucking repenting, man. Okay, that way you have a covering. Because without that covering, you're going to get caught up in the race wars. All right? So that's a message to you Edomite-looking, or you so-called white-looking Jakes, whatever, that are Israelites, obviously. Jacob, Israel. Okay? But it's time for you to wake up out of sleep, you know. But this is also a message to you Edomites, you true, pure-blooded red devils or black devils, whatever. Because you Edomites, you spread your seed too, right? So you're covering caste. You're looking at the other nations too, right? But that pure air, whatever, Aryan race, white, whatever, Edomite, really Edomite, you know, devil, white, red devil. White devil, whatever the fuck. Okay, you know, your kingdom's going down. Truth is here. Truth is being exposed. You know what time it is. And you see the Israelites on the highways and byways condemning your nation. You know what time it is. Condemning your acts, whatever. You know what time it is. Yahushai's return is imminent. You know, World War III is imminent. The sea hip is imminent. This kingdom society, as you know it, is about to collapse. All right. Canada has gone to shit. You so-called white people have brought in the East Indians, or the biblical Elamites, and they have no respect for your authority. They can give a fuck about what you got going on, the rules, the laws. They're running amok. They can give a fuck, and it's backfiring on you because you brought those people in to suppress the so-called black people in Canada, right? You brought them in so that way they can suppress black people from doing well, buying homes, whatever the case may be. Because there was a time where black people were actually able to buy homes. You know what I mean? From the time they got here up until like maybe the mid 2015, black people still buy a home, whatever, but it's just harder now. And you made it that way on purpose because you brought those people in, those East Indians, to sabotage us, No different than when you brought them into Trinidad or into the Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad, wherever, Grenada, wherever you want to call it. I got to do a video on that as well. Okay, so Elam, you East Indians, you're not escaping the judgment either. It's just that Esau is the so-called white man. He's the king of the hill right now. So he has to take all the judgment. Okay? And so, we gotta talk our shit. Sounds like we're just talking a whole bunch of mess, talking a whole bunch of shit. But it is what it is. The truth is the truth. Okay? We're piping onto the elect. All right? And we're giving the heathen the warning. Let's see where I'm going. Yeah, Isaiah 34. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. This is a message for all you nations. It says, Yahweh's wrath against nations, the heathen, all the nations, really, because the wicked of our people are going to get caught up in this as well. Okay, and the elect of our nation are going to be saved. Okay, verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, right? Righteous judgment, righteous anger, his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. So all of you are getting ready to be delivered to the slaughter, and it already happened in the Most High's time. Okay, he already made it happen. Okay, he put Isaiah in a vision to see that it happened. You see what I'm saying? That's why he wrote it the way he did, because he saw that it was done. He saw that it was done. It just didn't take place in his life, but the Most High translated him to see that vision. Okay, that's gonna happen in a future time, and it already happened. You see what I'm saying? The Most High can, he can jump dimensions if he wants to, jump time, whatever the case may be. He does that. The angels can do that. You see what I'm saying? He does it for his men. He'll translate men from one end, from one point in time, and then bring them back to the next, just so they can write down the vision that they saw. Okay, this is all inspired and divinely inspired by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, and you need faith to believe in that. All right, and the faithless will be slaughtered, especially the faithless of our people. We don't need heathens up in this, but the faithless of our people, Ezekiel 9, you're done. You know what I'm trying to say? Slay utterly, both old and young. We're not playing. Okay? The angel's going to come through. The angel of death is going to come. Alright? The angel of death is coming for you Edomites as well. Okay? Yahushai, his great return. Magnificent. Okay, that's what you're going to be fighting against in the heavens. But you're not going to stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. Okay? Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, right? And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, all right? A nuclear war, a nuclear warfare. This is what's coming to the so-called white man's kingdom. His dominion over the earth is going to end in nuclear war, nuclear warfare, and nuclear fallout, and nuclear destruction. Okay? And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling from the fig tree. Alright, and one thing about you so-called white people as well, you like to play this good cop, bad cop. Oh, Canada's a nice country. Canada's nice. Canada's never nice. Alright? Canada is the devil, same way America was the devil. America just had that big dog status. They took out this limelight. They owned their bullshit. They owned what they did to you. They never really, they never apologized, but they owned it. And a lot of you so-called white nations, Canada, UK, England's like, oh, we abolished slavery, but you guys fucking started it? Oh, we abolished it first. We stopped it. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You still profited off of it, okay? All your port cities in England, Liverpool, making billions, probably translating to trillions off the sugar cane, off the sugar gold rush from the Caribbean. We know about you, man. So don't come here and act like you're the high and mighty, righteous. Oh, we abolished it. Yeah, but you benefited. And you were doing hardcore slavery over there in the Caribbean. Okay, wherever you went, wherever you, all over the earth. They said that the sun never set in the British, whatever you, English, the British Empire, right? Because you went all over the place, all over the world to conquer. So you're the devil too, okay? But your spawn, which was America, they just took your place, so to speak, and they just did what they learned from their mother. And so what you guys did was just play that blame game, good cop, bad cop, and put all the negative racist shit on America. Not only in America, though, yeah, but here, no. But then, come to find out, when you move to these countries, you move to Canada, you move to the UK, you move to Spain, right? They're racist as fuck. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're the same devil. You guys are brothers and sisters. You're from the same race. You're from the same nation. And the gig is up. We know who the fuck you are now. You see what I'm saying? We know who you are. You're the devil. And just own up to it. Now is just the time to own up to it. All right? Canada, right now, as we speak, that's a video for another day. Lord will I get to that. Okay? So much stuff going on. We just got to tackle whatever we can. And the spirit hits us, whatever. We deal with it. But Canada is a co-conspirator with America when it comes to ICE. There's ICE offices in every major city of Canada right now as we speak. Okay? And they're not running operations in the sense of physical boots on the ground. However, there's a lot of administrative tasks being done at these offices. Okay? Why would you allow something like that to be done? Canada is also making vehicles for ICE for it to be shipped down to the United States. But I thought it was terrorists. I thought it was all this, propaganda. Canada did something I don't like. I'm putting terrorists on them. But Canada is providing Canadian companies. I'm not going to say it's a public sector. It is the private sector, but it's still Canadian. Okay, they're the one that got the contracts with ICE to provide armored vehicles for ICE. Okay, you would think that wouldn't be the case. But also, though, Canada is allowing ICE to operate in Canada for administrative tasks. Okay? So you would think there would be some form of rebel or no, why are we not allowing this? Look what you're doing to our country, our market. But no, they're all in it together because they're all in, okay, for the destruction of the Canadian economy and eventually the American economy. Okay? America is going to be the last to fall of all the nations when it comes to this world reserve currency because everybody depends on the world reserve currency. Okay, even China China still depends on the world reserve currency of the U.S. dollar. Okay, don't let these people fool you, man, because the Chinese are not the next to rule. All right, the elites set up China for the elites set up China as a model country for what they want for the rest of the world. Surveillance state, all that stuff, technology, EVs, whatever the fuck you name it, 15-minute city. I'm not saying they have 15-minute cities, but the way they're surveilling their citizens, yes, social credit scores, all that shit. China is a model country for the rest of the world. Okay, Britain may have taken a little bit of UK or whatever, little pointers from China in the sense of like surveillance state and whatnot. You know what I mean? But other than that, this is what we're coming to. Okay, so we can't let these so-called white people fool us on what's really going on in this world, man. We know what's going on. You don't. Okay. Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. All right, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm making a video, and we're prophesying against Babylon, America the Great, Canada, all these Western nations where you Edomites dwell. That's where Mount Seir is, okay? Mainly America, Babylon right now, spiritually. But wherever you Edomites dwell at predominantly, okay, the prophets are required to call you out on your bullshit, okay? And say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate. And thou shalt know I am the Lord, Yahweh. Okay, so this is the future. I read to you how it's going to be desolate through nuclear warfare, nuclear destruction, and nuclear fallout. Okay, because thou hast had perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right, this is the reason why. Because thou hast shed, Salakia, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. Right. When after slavery was abolished and Israelites, so-called black people, okay, were doing their own thing, segregated in their own cities, you were jealous by how successful they were, but because of all the skills that they learned in slavery, which they already had from when you brought them over here, but all the inventions and skill sets that they had. You see, the thing is with Jake, man, we're the former of all things, and Jake is always going to look for how can we do something easier? How can we make this easier? So Jake will invent a machine or whatever. It doesn't have to necessarily be a machine, but some form of tool, okay, to get the job done easier and less demanding on the body. You see what I'm saying? Jake is always thinking that way. Just like how you have AI now. How can we use AI to make things easier for the workload or whatever, for your corporate workload, mundane, redundant, repetitive tasks that don't mean shit overall, right? There's this Edomite, appears to be an Edomite, but you know, he could be a Jake, honestly, because he knows his people to the T, but he basically makes comedy skits about the corporate world. And pretty much he basically says, I'm making a ghost paycheck because I get paid to do nothing and I just gotta act busy. And that's majority of your Edomite corporate jobs. Just paid to talk a good game. You know what I mean? Just talk a good game. Oh, how was the kids? How was the family? Oh, the game. You watched the game? Did you watch the game? Yeah, you saw the game, right? That bullshit, you know? Like, oh yeah, but the actual work itself? No. If you come to work to do work, no, you're making me uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up, my nigga. You feel me? In the kingdom, man, ain't gonna be none of that bullshit talk. Oh, you're making me uncomfortable. Get the fucking work and shut the fuck up. Not gonna hear nothing about no fucking game and this and that. You Edomites are gonna be living in squalor. You Edomites are gonna be in the sun, the hot sun, picking cotton, sugar cane, whatever the case, whatever it is. You know, everything that we had to do, that you made us do, you're gonna have to fucking do it. As well as you're gonna be the sewage and the so you're gonna be underground. Okay, you're also going to be in the mine, the hot ass mines. You're going to be mining minerals. I don't even think we're going to have mines because that might be even unrighteous to have. Who knows? We'll see, right? We'll do the we'll ask you how shy. We'll come to a round table and figure out what's his take on that. But you will be working underground, okay? As well. You're going to be working in the hot ass sun for the long ass days. The days are going to get longer, okay? And the sun's going to be hot. We're gonna make sure of it. We're gonna be whipping you. We're gonna have open sores, open wounds, okay? And the sun's gonna be peering into that flesh, all right? Burning your scalp, burning your skin off, okay? All that's gonna happen. You know, this is righteous retribution, okay? You know, this is what the scriptures talk about. We're not playing no fucking games out here. Okay, we're not playing no games. Revelations 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Okay? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right? So that's what's coming. That's the righteous retribution. All right? Who led our people into captivity? The biggest captivity of all, the biggest Holocaust ever. All right? That happened to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites. Happened to our people. Okay? You led our people into captivity. You like to downplay the captivity of our northern tribe brothers, but you put them in captivity in hell too. All right, South America is poor as fuck overall. Okay, you go there in Brazil, man, ain't shit. The sun shines, but spiritually it don't for the people that are over there. Okay, spiritually, our people over there are poor, living in squalor. Okay, they gotta rob just to survive. Their dollars ain't shit. In Venezuela, the dollar ain't shit. Their currency ain't shit, I should say. All right, the northern tribe woman, the Latin woman, she's selling her pussy. Okay, women wouldn't lead to prostitution if they were from an affluent family, or they things are going well, so to speak. They come from wealth or money, so to speak. Right? I can't speak for the American woman, because the American woman would be freaked out if she had money or not. All right? And that goes for all the women that are there. Doesn't matter if they're black or white. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. That's a joke, but you get it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But anyways, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Who had the blessing of the sword? Esau, Edom. And who kills our people with the sword? Esau, Edom. All right? So the judgment for that is that you will be killed by the sword, and you will go into captivity. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites, the elect of Israel, mainly. All right, Lord, we're of that number. Okay. Yeah, you Edomites, you gotta pay. It is what it is. We went through it, and then now it's your turn. Okay. A lot of you middle class Edomites, you're feeling it. You so-called white people, you're feeling it. You're trying to get in this parade of we're all in this together and all this shit. High prices, no. That's not how this works. We were always outsiders. The Israelites were always outsiders. So-called black people were always outsiders to you. We're not in this together. It's not the J's, the small hats, the little hats, the tinted caps. It's not those are your brothers. Okay? You can't shift the blame onto the tinted caps, the little hats, small caps, little caps, whatever you want to call them, the J's. You can't shift the blame to them. Those are your brothers. All right? Learn the ways of them. Okay? That way you can get a piece of the pie. All right? Don't try and kumbaya with us, with the so-called black man. So-called black people, and these Edomites telling their children, if you ever get lost, run to a so-called black woman. Get the fuck out of here. We're not your black woman's not your fucking mommy anymore. Maybe she still is, but she's bugged out. But you know what I mean. Fuck out of here. Ain't gonna be none of that in the kingdom, man. All right. Let's get the facts. Let's get the facts. Let's get the facts, man. Let's get the facts. Let's talk facts, okay? Because this is what you did to our people. We can go into what you did to. We can go into what you did to our people. You fed our children, our babies, to what? Alligators. You used our babies as alligator bait, okay? And they died, right? They died, right? Yeah. That was the cruelty of what you did. You're the devil. You didn't know? Devil just means deceiver, and you're the devil. The white man, the so-called white man, is the devil, okay? And you got to own up to it. Be the devil, because when it's time for us to be your devil, you see what I'm saying? We're gonna own up to it. We're gonna tell you, and we're not gonna deny it. And we're gonna send Satan on you too, and we're gonna send the devil on you too. We're going to be the devil and send the devil on you. How about that? You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here, man. I might have to read the whole thing, man. Psalms 137:1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept. We remembered Zion. Right. And this is basically, this is what you would call like a Negro spiritual, basically, that you Edomites love, right? Because this is supposed to be a song, right, so to speak. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. Okay. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they wasted us required of us mirth. Right. So a lot of you Edomites, okay, what you require from us, you know, you want a song, you want us to be entertaining you, making jokes, cracking jokes, running up and down a basketball court, football field, soccer field, whatever the case may be, track, okay? Just entertainment in general from the so-called black man and black woman, child, whatever the fuck, right? Streamer University, Kai Cenat, right? You love all that. You know what I'm saying? You want, who else? Actual Speed, whatever. You want cooned out guys, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? You want that. You need that. You want that. Oh, we're paying you X amount of dollars. Don't go against the grain. We're paying you millions of dollars. Don't speak up for the benefit of your people. Don't speak about the uprising or righteousness of your people. No, don't do that. We're giving you money. Just live your life. Perform for us, nigger. And that's that. Right? That's the mindset of you devils. Okay? We're giving you money. You're good. Okay? See, we can point at you and say, hey, see, black people are doing well. When it's only a small percentage, right? LeBron James is and all that. How many LeBron James is there? Not a lot. Okay, it's only him. Okay, you might have 400 guys in the league. They're not making the money LeBron is. They never sold out to that degree. They're not on that level. Everything's a script, right? The entertainment, we're a song to these devils, right? So it just is what it is, right? Saying, sing us a song, one of those songs of Zion. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly how they are. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? How can we do that? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. All right, that's the mindset we gotta have. How could we forget Yahweh Shem Shai? We can't. But if I do, you know what I'm saying? Let me not talk, because I don't want to be some cooned out nigga. This is a prayer. All right? I don't want to be some cooned out nigga if I forget Yahweh Shem Shai. I'd rather, let me just be mute. You know what I'm saying? Remember, O Lord Yahweh, the children of Edom, the so-called white man, Esau. Edom, that's your biblical nationality. Okay, we're gonna always say that, including the small hats, the so-called Jays. All right. In the days of Jerusalem, from the land of Ai, right? The so-called Jays from the land of Ai. Okay. In the days of Jerusalem, who said, "Raise it, raise it." Let me read it again. Remember, O Lord Yahweh, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, "Raise it, even to the foundation thereof." O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh thy little ones against the stones. Right? Salakia. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. All right, so what you did to us, right? You took our babies and you fed them to alligator bait. We're gonna do the same to you and your children, your babies. We're gonna have breeders, selective Edomite breeders, just for that, because not all you Edomites are gonna have children. Okay, what's the point? We're gonna have selective breeders. We're gonna have selective breeding farms just for your white babies, so-called white babies, to get thrown to the sharks, thrown to alligators, thrown to dashed against the stones. You know what I mean? throw them up into the heavens and watch them fall down, whatever the fuck we feel. Okay? We're going to do that. Right? Because what you did to our people, and we need that righteous retribution. That's actually what's going to make us whole. That the first 1,000 years, you know, I feel like the Lord, I don't, you know, obviously we're going to have the new bodies, going to be perfect, but that 1,000th year is going to be when we're going to be fully whole. When you Edomites, bon voyage, okay, that big bonfire on y'all, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, it's gonna be lovely. But that 1,000th year, man, we're gonna be how do you say? We're gonna be made whole completely, man. All right, the so-called black woman, she's gonna know that this was the devil, this was her enemy the whole time. She's gonna have that godly sorrow. She's gonna know that she fucked up against the Israelite man, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man. All our women are gonna know that they fucked up against us. They transgressed against us. And then they're going to be there cheering us along, being their good cheerleaders as they are, right? Because your woman is supposed to be your cheerleader, okay? She's going to be cheering us on as we destroy our enemies, okay? She's going to see the strength of us. She's going to see the strength in us, the strength in our bicep, our quad, our calf, you know, our tricep, our abs. You know, I'm just saying in general, like, you know, she's just gonna see the strength of the Israelite man, the strength in our jawline, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The strength in our fierce countenance, our spirit is gonna overtake her. You feel me? All of that. You feel me? And she gonna be witnessing us be joyous and laughing and celebrating and dancing in the blood of our enemies. You know what I mean? That's what's coming, man. A real manly spirit. And that's going to turn them on, brothers. Understand that. They haven't seen that yet. They have not seen that yet. Real masculinity, real raw retribution and justice and judgment, indignation, godly, on the godly level, on the highest level, is coming back right to this earth. And that's going to get these women pussy wet. Okay? Not only that, but our testosterone is going to be through the roof. Because we're getting our judgment, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're going to be, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to be neat. We're going to be in heat. Our woman's going to be in heat. What's that going to bring? More children, more life. You know, more Israelite children, of course. You know what I mean? And it's going to be love. It's going to be a beautiful day, man, in paradise. But it's the kingdom of heaven, baby. Okay? It's going to get real out here. It's going to get low. It's going to be real. Okay? Nobody's going to be able to contest against the Israelites. We're going to be gods. Okay? You guys saw that. You guys saw that show. Okay? Invincible, man. We're going to be the Viltrumites, but we're the Israelites, baby. Okay? It's all about the Israelites, baby. Anyways. Ah, man. I don't even know where I should start. Anyways, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Right? This is talking about Esau, Edom. Okay, they don't want to talk about these books. I mean, this book, this chapter. You know what I'm saying? Could we get into it? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. All right, that's giving you characteristics of who the so-called white man is. He loves these sky-high condos, office buildings, towers, skyscrapers, right? That's his habitation. That's where he lives. That's how he likes to live. He likes to believe that he's on top of the world, above everybody. You know what I mean? The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, he thinks he's a god. He's on the god level. So he's God. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, that's the symbol of the Edomites, all right? Germany, America, right? Various Edomite rulerships, right? They love that ego, man. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Would you not leave some fucking grapes? But no, Esau, he wants it all. He can give a fuck. He can give a fuck about the Lord's welfare system. His welfare system is you getting some slave tokens from the Federal Reserve, which is, your FRNs, your Federal Reserve notes, slave tokens. Okay, you go to the fucking, the social services, and you get a little monthly slave token. You get monthly slave tokens for X amount. You live in government assisted housing. It's not actually resources. His form of our form of what do you call so-called welfare system is actual resources. Okay. When it came to the grapes, you would leave some grape. All right. If you were a miner or whatever, if you were the one looking for the gold, so I take it back about the mining industry. In order to get gold, you have to dig. So we always had that. You see what I'm saying? So we will be having mining industries, whichever brother wants to be in charge of that. You oversee that, set up your taskmasters and whatever. Certain brothers are gonna have different planets with different resources that's pretty much distinct to them. We're just having godly conversation here because that's what you got to look forward to. You're gonna have your own precious metals that you created, and you're gonna gift it to brothers and other Israelites. And we can only get this at this planet, and this brother mines it, and he's in control, and blah blah blah, and vice versa. And you're gonna get a whole bunch of gifts, and you're gonna have a multitude of stuff. But Esau, you will never see. All right, Esau, you will never see the light of day when it comes to this. Okay, and we're not worried about you. You're gonna be a thought of the past. Okay, we're not. I got a next scripture, and I'm probably gonna end it off on that. Man. Okay, Job 20. We're gonna get into that because that's what I'm talking about, baby. You're done. We're not worried about you, buddy. You're worried about us. Here it is. You're worried about the slaves, and the slaves ain't worried about you. You feel me? We just worried. The elect. We're just worried about how we can get our fucking hands on you, devils, you heathens, mainly you devils. Okay, and just. Get our righteous retribution. We're gonna have punching bags that are made out of Edomites. It's like, yeah, I need a punching bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna I'm gonna do some whipping. I'm gonna do some lashing still if I'm on my horse or whatever. Me and my woman, we're on our horse. We're just, babes, you wanna go horseback riding? Right? All my darlings, all my wives, babes, all my babes. You guys wanna go horseback riding? They don't have a choice, and then. It's not that they don't have a choice. Of course they're going to want to go horseback riding with me. Fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But, of course they're going to want to go horseback riding. So they're going to see me whiplashing these Edomites in the field for not working. Alright? Stop talking, boy. You know what I mean? Hey, you're not doing no work, boy. Boy. Alright? We're going to see who the boy is in the kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see who the boy is. For real, bro. You ain't tripping on me. None of that. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are the hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. All right, you're Psalms 83, all the nations that you're clicked up with, linked up with, to make sure that the Israelites didn't know who we were. Right, that's the reason why you other nations are living so fat as well. Because you guys made Esau paid you off to be like, all right, I'll set you up on a level. You're not gonna be on our level, but you're gonna be on another. You're gonna be on a good level, just as long as these niggas ain't on no level. You know what I'm saying? So we clocked that. We seen that. We already know. That's cool. But they're gonna turn on your bitch ass. You feel me? Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? All right, you Temanites. Okay, that's where you get all your understanding from, the Germans, so to speak. The Germans, right? And the mighty men of Teman, right? Teman shall be dismayed, Germans, right? That's a tribe of Esau, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob shall cover thee, Shalakia. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. That's right. Because the violence that you had against Jacob, the 12 tribes, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That, that's why you're going to be cut off. Your whole nation. It's going to be a big bonfire of your people gone. In that day, that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives, his forces and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, and thou wast as one of them, a willing participant in our captivity and our downfall, and you were the main participant in our downfall. Thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. And that's exactly what you Edomites do. You speak proud and loftily. You don't, against the poor, they speak loud and loftily concerning oppression, right? Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Okay? Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. This is when we needed, you can't even think back when we needed to cross through the King's Highway and you denied our entrance from passing through. You know what I mean? We said, we come through peaceably, but, are we able to come through? No, but guess what? We're actually going to get back that land as well. Okay? That land is actually going to be absorbed to the, it's going to be part of the land of Israel. Because our borders are going to expand in the kingdom. And the earth is going to expand. Okay? The earth is actually going to get bigger. Especially under the rulership of the Israelites. Okay? And it's going to need to get bigger if we're going to have a lot of children. Right? And that's the beauty of what's to come. Neither should us have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord Yahweh was near upon all heathen. Okay? As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Right. So everything you did unto us is going to happen unto you, minus all that gay shit. Minus all that weird gay shit, that PDF shit that you fucking did to us. We ain't going to be doing none of that. Okay? But everything else, that's fucking free game. That's free game right there, my nigga. So Esau, count your days, count your blessings right now. Max the credit cards, enjoy the yacht. And I'm saying, sell that bitch. Sell that bitch. Don't sell that bitch. Sell that bitch. You ain't gonna sell it to the sunset, but sell on that hoe. Whatever. Go fishing. Do whatever. Do what you do. Do what you Edomites do, bro. You feel me? Do what you love to do, bro. Okay, but we not you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna forget. We ain't Tupac over here. We ain't forgiving you either, nigga. We ain't Tupac over here. And we gonna keep our head up though. You feel me? Shit. And we gonna be looking down on you niggas, you Edomites. Alright? That's a fact. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Okay? They shall drink what? Drink the cup. Drink of the cup, the dregs, all the curses. They shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Yeah, it's gonna be, all the bitter herbs, and not even herbs, because it's not even gonna bless, it's not even gonna benefit. It's just bitter hard times you're gonna be. You drank of the cup, man. Done. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom coming together, the reunification, pursuant to Ezekiel 37. Okay? And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining. Right? So big bon voyage, big bonfire of you Edomites. Okay? Point at the stake. Alright? Bunch of faggots. Anyways, burning a bundle of sticks. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, there shall not be remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. That's it. None remaining of you devils, for all the bullshit and deception and crimes and, Crimson Man, caught red-handed, the so-called white man. He's not white, he's red. Crimson Man, right? Crimson is red. Caught red-handed, so-called white man. He even tried to call the Native Americans red, even though, you see how he tried to play that off? He's the devil. You know what I'm saying? Esau, you're the devil, man. You're the devil the Bible speaks of, buddy. You are the devil the Bible speaks of. And we ain't worry about you. You know what I'm saying? We ain't worry about what you got going on. We ain't worry about none of that shit. You feel me? We worry about the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Shai, and what He got in store for His people, starting for His Son and then the elect. Okay? This is the, I'm going to read the whole thing, I guess. I'm in the spirit. I'll be right back, though. All right. Salakia. Job 20:1. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and my spirit understanding causes me to answer. This is the point starting here. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, as a triumphant of the wicked is short, that the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, and the wicked, triumph of the wicked is you so-called white people, Esau, Edom. All right, and you're a hypocrite. You're very hypocritical in your nature, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you move, your actions, your mannerisms, very hypocritical. Okay, prime example, so-called sovereign countries, but America's able to just impose their will on a so-called sovereign country, right? Imagine if that country did that to you, right? It's very one-sided. Oh, we're the first world, we're this, we're that. That's why we're able to do that, because there's an evil dictator in that country that you already set up. There's a reason why the country's poor. You already did destabilize that country. You sent in the jackals, right, through the CIA and whatever else alphabet organization that you use. So let's not play dumb here. We know what the fuck you do. We know your MO. We know your tactics. So don't be simple. Don't act like you're blameless and guiltless in the matter. Okay? Be real with yourselves, but you can't because you're a hypocrite. those excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach up the cloud onto the clouds, right? Because you're proud of what you do. You talk all this shit, talk a good game, blah blah blah. I'm white, ha ha ha. I'm white. Fuck you, right? Yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right, right. He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Okay, and this is going for all you Edomites in America, Canada. Okay, all you Edomites got a tab to pay with the Heavenly Father, and there's no escape from judgment. Okay, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Right, your status, okay, your place in this world is that you were the guy, the most knowledgeable, the smartest, high IQ, all that bullshit that you want to come with as if it fucking matters, and it doesn't. Okay, you're losing your country, you're losing your land, you're losing your grip, you're losing the witchcraft on the hold of the minds of the people. These other nations are getting smarter. The other nations are outbreeding you. They're having more children than you. Don't get me started on the nation of Israel. Our nation, we try and keep our numbers low. And we're still having children and doing what we got to do, even through it all, right? So fuck right off, buddy. You, on the other hand, barely can have one child, okay? And then your woman, she loves the ideologies of aborting babies. So your woman can't have no fucking kids for real. That's why, even when y'all trying to have kids, you know what I'm saying? The womb is no good, because your woman already done aborted bear youths. All right, when I say bear, I mean a lot of kids. Right? The vessel of that womb is no good. Okay. So when that woman wants to settle down and actually try to have kids, she's not having no kids. She's done. All right. You see something about the so-called black woman's womb, man. The womb, she can do fuckery to it. I mean, it's still not gonna be as good. Don't get me wrong, but it can swell more than the so-called white woman's womb. Because black woman's womb is meant to swell, and if you how do I say? Yeah, even up into their later years, like they'd say, oh, pregnancy after 30 is hard. Yeah, it might be. It is. I'm not saying it's not, especially in this hellhole, right? But women in a kingdom, a woman having children in their 30s is not going to be a big deal. We're going to have children at 100 years old, because our women are going to live forever, and our women are going to have to have children, and they're going to always want to have children. They're going to be mothers of children, mothers of Israelites, okay? And they're going to be proud of that, proud mothers. Oh, this is my child, this is my child, this is my child. They're going to take care of the kids, and they're going to love the kids, and the kids are going to take care of themselves as well. You know what I mean? And they're going to be pampered for it. They're going to have the heathen to take care of them as well. All that stuff is going to be accounted for us, the Israelites, the gods of the earth. Okay? The gods of the earth are going to have everything accounted for us. We're going to be good. Okay? That's the beauty and the joy and what we got to look forward to. You know what I mean? Okay. His children shall seek to please the poor. Yep, that's what you devils trying to do. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Right? Oh, it wasn't me. That wasn't me, my forefather. I can make it up to you. Blah blah blah. I'm a good white man. I'm not like that. Nah. Fuck off. All right. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Right? What does the scripture say? The scriptures say the wicked are the wicked are, what does it say? The wicked are born, I gotta get it, from their youth. All right? The wicked are estranged from the womb. Yeah, exactly. So let me get that real quick. Let me break this down real quick, because I was about to. It says his bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Right? The sin of his youth. So from his beginning, right? The bones that are in it, his whole matter, his whole genetic makeup is wicked, right? Sin. So scripture says, Psalms 58:3, the wicked, so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Exactly, that hypocritical nature of them. To be a hypocrite, it means you're an actor, you're a liar, you're not being real. That's these Edomites. They play that to a T. Okay? If it's one thing that these devils are good at, they're good actors. So they can actually act. You know what I mean? If you see, they can switch into being the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, play victim and play innocent even though they were the aggressors, all that shit. They're good at that shit. Karen, all that fuck shit, man. You know what I mean? If you don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That's what they're on. They're on that fuck shit, bro. So, know what's up. Anyways. Where are we? Where are we though? Fuck. Yeah, his bones. Yeah, his bones are full of the youth. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. He shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Right? He hides his intent, his intentions. Okay, he's thinking all these wicked things. He has to play this role as he's an upstanding guy, but he's really the devil's. SACRIFICINGing babies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Your politicians, all of those guys. Them Steen files. You know what's going on, right? All that weird, wacko shit. All right, but that's on the high level. But that's all you Edomites on the base level. You little peon Edomites, you little middle class Edomites. You're all into that. You middle class Edomites, you low class Edomites, you high class Edomites. You're all the same. You all have base desire. Your base desires are wicked. See, Jake's base desires, it's not even base desire. It's just to have some pussy. Okay? Just to get some fuck some pussy. That's and that's not a base desire. But what Esau will weaponize our quote unquote base desire. As it, you know what I'm saying? Because as we're, as he's pushing sex on the Israelite man, the Israelite man, the Israelite woman, okay, yeah, just have sex. That's like a distraction from actually you trying to come up in this world in the sense of, making coin, making slave tokens and being all right for yourself. If you're out there fucking down the place and having kids here, having kids there, that can actually, in this world, that can deter you from building quote unquote wealth, so to speak. You know what I mean? And Esau knows that. So he used our quote unquote base desires against us. And it's not even a base desire. It's just time and place. We're in captivity right now. And Esau's, you know what I'm saying? He's running it up on us. You know what I mean? Our women, they don't agree with the polygyny thing, right? So slap your ass on child support if you can't agree on her program. All that shit, man. This is hell. Esau set it up, but Esau has not to pay for that as well, for turning our woman against us, right? You got to pay for that, Esau. So you better do some reflecting on that as well. Okay, you piece of shit. What else? Though he spirit and forsake it not, verse 13, but keep it still within his mouth. Yeah, because you're the devil. That's what you do. Yeah, his mean his bowels turn. If it's a gall of ass within him, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. And Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly, and he shall suck the poison of asp, and the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks, and have honey and butter. Right, you're not going to Mars. All right, Elon Musk, you're not going to Mars, buddy. Okay, you're not going to the heaven. You're not going to be space travel and Star Trek place and Star Wars the place up. Yeah, because that's what you want to do. You want to go to the next dimensions, next galaxies, and have wars. Star Wars. Fuck out of here. You're not doing that. Okay? All right, we got to suppress you on this earth. That's it. You're only limited to earth. I said, you know what I'm saying? Lord, I'm of the elect. I'll make that decree. I have to run it by Yahushua that these Edomites cannot leave earth. All right, because we're going to need, we might need people from earth to do work over in these other planets, right? I don't know how it's gonna work fully. We'll leave that up to the interpretation, right? Because we're not there yet. But that's what we got. That's what we have to look forward to, right, brothers? You see what I'm saying? Anyways, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down, according to his substance. Shall he? Yeah, all your, all that mining shit that you're doing now, you keep doing it, man. Keep stacking up that gold. Keep putting it in the vaults. All that shit that you're doing, bro. You're doing it all for us, anyways. We're gonna get it. We're gonna melt it down because it's tainted because of you, right? But we're gonna melt it down. We're gonna mold it into what we need it to be, okay, right? When we melt it down, it's gonna be purified, cleaned, right? Gonna be baptized by Yahushua himself. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna mold it to what we need it to be. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. Okay? Keep hoarding all the riches and the resources and doing what you gotta do. Beautiful, man. You're doing our job right now. That's crazy. The whole time you're in rulership, you're actually working for us. So thank you. You know what I'm saying? Give him a round of applause. The whole time Esau's in rulership, he's actually working for us, brothers. That's what you need to understand. Okay? This devil works for us. Okay? That's why we can give a fuck, right? Most brothers can. You know? And when I say we can give a fuck, I mean we don't give a fuck, you know? I was working with a Persian guy, Iranian guy, whatever, and he said, he gives a fuck. He gives a fuck. Like, which is really inverted for he doesn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So, it was funny to me, because when I first heard it, I was like, oh, shit. He gives a fuck or he doesn't give a fuck? I understood the way he said it. I knew exactly how he meant it. He gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So who gives a fuck? Anyways, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor. Who's the poor? Who's the needy? Who's the Israelites? We're the poor. We're on the lowest. We're the lowest when it comes to the economic buying power and whatever. You know what I'm saying? The black dollar doesn't stay within the black community until no longer than 24 hours and whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's us. The curses. Because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. Right. He took away whole land masses. All right, the Native Americans, this was their land. Canada, America, Mexico. All right. The Americas, fuck, Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? He violently took away all those lands, man. Africa's named after a so-called white man. Okay, so that Africa is the so-called white man's bitch. You know? Oh, I'm African. Oh, Africa. Fuck off, man. You guys are under the so-called white man. All right? Come on. Use your head, man. Okay? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired, right? You're not going to be... even right now, you Edomites, you're uncomfortable. You know, you guys know you did bullshit, but you don't want to admit it. And I just gotta prepare. This is the thing. You Edomites, you're like rats. You're a rat in a corner. When you corner a rat, the rat starts spazzing off because he has nothing else to do. Right? That's you Edomites. You Edomites are preparing for war. You're preparing to go all out. You're preparing for purging and all that bullshit because you're a rat in a corner. You're preparing for more death. But you're not gonna win. Okay? You're not going to win. You're not going to be the victors, man. It's done. Your rulership, 250th year, 2026, baby. It's over. It's done. It's done. All right? Pack it up. Pack it up, my G. All right? It's all good, though. It's all good. It's done, though. It's done. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. We're not going to want whatever you got going on. All right? And the fullness of his sufficiency shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he's about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury. Right. Your new world order. Right. Your NWO, your MOTB infrastructure, micro C hipping, mass global micro C hipping. Okay. All that. You know, the Lord's gonna intervene. Right. You're gonna see hip a good amount of people. but it's not going to come to fruition where you can have them in digital. That digital slavery shit, I don't believe we're even going to be here long enough for that to even happen, man. It's going to happen, but not for that long. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Because their plan is to keep you in digital slavery and all this shit. And, you know, it's not going to be the case for that long. And also, that's if you get C-hipped up. Obviously, we're not here to get C-hipped up. We're telling you not to take the C-hip. Okay? You feel me? They show you that in Black Mirror. People being C-hipped up, and they're programming your dreams. They're programming what you can see and think. You know what I mean? So you really want to get C-hipped up? Why? Because, oh, you need food and shelter and water and all that bullshit that the Lord can provide, but you have no faith. You don't believe. You don't read the scripture. You don't know that the Lord took care of his elect, his people, his prophets, his men. Okay? Well, that's on you. You say the Bible is a fairy tale, it's a fable, or whatever. It's not real. It's written by a white man, but the white man doesn't even live by the Bible. So why go on? The white man don't live by the Bible. So how could you say it's a white man's book? Right? You see the actions of the so-called white man. He lives like a beast. You know? And you know what? Not everybody's supposed to have the Bible anyways, because it's for us. It's not for you people, man. It's not for you guys. You guys are not meant to have it. Okay? And we don't want you to have it. Okay? This is a sacred knowledge. Even though we're giving it freely to whoever, it's not for everybody, because you wouldn't be able to understand and grasp the concept and the knowledge of what we're giving out right now. It's too much. This is on a higher level, a higher playing field than the base level that you people are on. A lot of you people couldn't compute this whole, you know what I mean? You couldn't compute the things I'm saying because you're of the world. Okay? We're from above, you're from below. Okay? Verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Alright, let's talk about the nuclear destruction. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yeah. The glittering sword cometh out of his gal, right? The nuclear missiles, the ICBMs, opening up from the silos, okay? Coming out from the ocean, from the submarines, right? The the fucking whatever, however they want to do it, they just drop it from the jets, whatever. Yeah, man, this is what's coming. Terror is upon him. All darkness shall be hid in the secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Every Edomite that's going to be in the land of America is going to be gone, right? You guys are going to be trying to go to Greenland and it ain't going to fucking work, all right? Every last Edomite in America, heathen and 2/3, will not be able to escape the destruction that's coming to America. Okay, Babylon the Great. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. And that's what's going on right now. Even from the beginning of this video, you saw the videos, Canada being exposed, all that, you Edomites. Okay, white is right, whatever the fuck. That's where you guys go on. The increase of a house shall depart. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from Yahweh. Right, you're a wicked man, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh. This is your heritage, and this is what you're going to be. This is going to be your reputation. This is what you're going to be known for in our kingdom. We know. All right, we know. Habakkuk 2:16. I'm going to end it off here. Thou art filled with the shame for glory. Drink thou also. Let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right, you don't have no glory because you're going to be exposed for all the wickedness that you've done, that you've tried to suppress. You're being exposed right now in this video. Okay, and it's eating you up inside. Okay, you want to, up the price on, even in this world. Who gives a fuck about hockey anyways? Whatever. Just more slave entertainment for the slaves. And, you're a slave in your own society. You're a slave in your own kingdom, man. The elites don't even fucking fuck with you for real. They just use you as pawns against the Israelites. Okay? That's it. You're just a fucking pawn. You're not no fucking king. You're not even a fucking rook. You know what I'm saying? You're not even a fucking rook, my nigga. You feel me? You're a fucking pawn. That's all you'll ever fucking be. Okay? You're a fucking tool used by Yabashim Yahushai just to do a little whatever. Put a little hell on some Israelites. Whatever. Raise a little hell, raise a little hell, raise a little hell. That's it, bro. You ain't nothing, Esau. We're not worried about you. You know what I mean? You know, the Most High got your number. You know, but we just call out your shenanigans. We just call out your bullshit. Alright? And we just put it as that. You know what I mean? You know, you want to hide history, keep things a secret, keep people from not knowing, you know. But we know, and you're being exposed, and that's our job. And you can do whatever you want. Everything we do is being documented, and it's in the cloud. It's in the spiritual cloud. And Lord will, we're of that elect, and everything that we did that was righteous will be a book written for us about what we've done and how we were able to, you know, escape Babylon the Great, man. Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be a part 2 on this, but Lord, will you're edified. I did go for a little bit, whatever. I went in the spirit. I did what I had to do. Lord, will you're edified. I'm gonna say shalom to the next one, and you know how it goes. Brother, stay in the spirit, and Kwame Ashrala, Abad Baba.